Hey everybody out there, Chris and Mike here, and welcome back to another Dark Avenger Comic Book review. Literally on the day where this week's books are being released, and once again it's the holiday season, so I'm sure you guys understand it. And at the end of this month, I'm almost 100% positive we're going to be going through the same ordeal.
I got my books light.
At least for the last 2 weeks of this month, I have a feeling we're going to be going through a similar ordeal.
Let's just hope we don't go through this again.
I think by January everything should be back to normal.
Oh yeah, because all the holidays are done.
Right. So it's the holiday season anyway, guys. We hope you guys have a great holiday season. And you know, a lot of the times this is where we're the most busiest outside of YouTube also, because it's the holiday shopping, everything. So it's understandable, you know, that the comics are late because, you know, there are days where the post office just don't run. So that's it. Anyway, the books in this review were released on
November 26, 2014, the last week of November.
Another thing I noticed, and we rectified that, not for the comics coming out this week, this Wednesday, but the comics that will be coming out 2 episodes from now. World's Finest was always Huntress and Power Girl. I remembered several issues back that it said final issue, and that exactly was the case. However, DC kept World's Finest going, and it's now called Superman Batman World's Finest. I missed out on 3 months worth of Earth 2 story. I mean, somebody mentioned it to me 2 months ago. I looked into it, I said, okay, it looks like they're just going to go back, you know, and it's going to reference to what's going on in World's End. I was wrong. So, we actually backtracked and got the last 3 issues. We're going to be doing, I might do all 3 in one review. Mike will read them with me and we'll go through it. It involves the before Apocalypse attacked Earth 2, like the lead up to it with the original Superman, the Earth 2 version of Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. So, looks interesting. I guess we'll have to wait and see when we get the issues.
Yep.
Comes out in 2 weeks anyway. So let's get into this week's books. Batman Beyond Universe issue 16, digital first. This was going to make or break the series for me, and I'll be honest, when I skimmed through this book, I thought this was it. This is the end. I'm done. This is where me and Batman Beyond go our separate ways. Lo and behold, I was wrong. I forget the antagonist's name in this book. But anyway, Dick Grayson gets kidnapped, and I forgot the antagonist's name, and somebody will probably correct me in the comments. I'm not going to go crazy looking for it right now, but Batman Beyond Rewired. Trying to remember his name. I want to get it. I really do. Anyway, Dick gets kidnapped. Terry is still very much involved with his father in the Justice Lord's world, and really he doesn't want to come back to the regular universe. He wants to stay in that time and in that universe. And then we find out that the person that kidnapped Dick wants the portal. So Bruce destroys the portal, and Terry kind of loses it a bit, and Dick literally gets put to within an inch of his life until Terry actually steps in with Barbara to try to save Dick. I'm not going to say how that all happened. This happened months ago digitally, so it's not really a big story. Something happens with Terry's dad in the Justice Lord's world where he was supposed to meet him. He never met him, and then it turns out, spoiler alert here, T's dad finds out that he's really Batman, and he explains the whole situation. But Dick gets saved, and you get to see a lot of emotion, not only from everybody, but you also get to see it from Bruce. And I was surprised to see the emotion that Bruce showed in the cave, you know, where obviously nobody saw it, but still, it was really good. The ending was very strong also, where obviously Terry can't go back to the Justice Lord's world anymore because the portal's destroyed, but T and Dick Grayson from the Justice Lord's world found a way to travel to Terry's world to see what's going on, and basically that's the end of Terry going to the Justice Lord's world, and it says the end for now. So next issue is a brand new beginning. So basically everything that's been going on in Batman Beyond Universe for the past 16 issues is now behind Terry, and we are now going to be moving forward with the next story arc. Hopefully we'll get some Superman and Justice League Beyond back. I mean, I miss those other stories. I bought this for that purpose. With there only being one definitive story, that makes this book very susceptible to the dark drop pile at any moment. So I would like to see Superman Beyond again anyway. It was really fun reading those stories. I would like to see more of that as well. This is my worst book of the week, and it's Red Lanterns issue number 36. I
knew it.
At this point, Godhead is really just... It's
a God headache?
A headache, yeah. That was a brilliant way of thinking right there. Good job.
Yeah.
They basically say it in this book that All-Father is basically a nicer version of Darkseid, but he's basically on the same level, and I agree. Guy and Simon find a way to boom tube to New Genesis because they want revenge for what happened in the last... Guy wants revenge for what happened in the last issue. It fails, they fail, they become prisoners, the end. That's really it.
Wow.
I'm telling you one thing. The one thing Godhead did for me is lighten my stack because after Godhead, because now I cannot stop. I am at the... This is the last part, I believe, to
Did you
Act
say 2. There's a new writer that's coming in for Red Lanterns?
Yeah, after this arc.
After that arc.
This is the last part to Act 2. Next week's issue of Green Lantern is Act 3, the final act of the series. I'm going to finish this. I've suffered through 2 acts. I'm not going to stop with only 1 act left to go, but I am telling you one thing. When this series is said and done, I'm almost 100, if not 1,000% sure, I will be dropping Green Lantern Corps, and Green Lantern New Guardians, with the possibility of Red Lanterns and Sinestro as well. But then again, Sinestro's been really good on its own, because he's separate from the Green Lantern Corps, and Red Lanterns was really good, but Charles Soule is leaving the book after Godhead. So, again, I'm just going to play the waiting game. I'll try the next story arc out for both Red Lanterns and Sinestro, and if they suck, I'll drop them too. But I'm almost 100% sure the 3 Green Lantern books and me are going to go our separate ways for a time because this story definitely just put the nail in the coffin for me, so to speak.
Alright, we got He-Man the Master of the Universe, issue number 19. This is the prelude to the Eternity War. And basically, to sum up the story, it talks about Adam who wants to become Prince and how he wants to. Like how he wanted to be that. So, basically it just talks about the origin story, about him as a kid, and how he wanted to, like I said before, just be what he wants to be. And I want to show some artwork, which I go get this artwork right here. And Adam and this other guy, I can't remember what his name is.
I believe he becomes Skeletor, no?
Keldor, yeah. He's trying to convince the father, saying, he's ready, he's not a kid anymore. He's trying to tell the father he's strong and everything, but, there's just so much that he wants to know, and he's the uncle of Adam. So, and there's lots of other dialogues where there's a mission that's going on, and for those of you who do or don't know, Keldor actually becomes a traitor to Adam, and the father's in a little bit of a situation where he tries to lift it up, and there's a little bit of something that happens in the end where he says, I have, but he doesn't have the power. But it really explains how he got his strength and why without interfering with his time, because they said that his father was supposed to die.
Well, his father does die.
He does during that, I forgot what that series was called that recently happened, but they want to do it here, so instead they...
well, it's a story about how,
before he became Prince Adam and
yeah.
He-Man. That's
how
really
Prince
the
Adam
basics
grew up
of that.
before He-Man, yeah. Alright, next we got The Flash, issue number 36. The Flash is stuck in, as it says, the Savage Speed Force, but what about the Dark Barry from the future? Well, now that the Speed Force is fixed, basically, he's young, he's healthy again, he is on Cloud 9 because guess what? He now has a second chance at life. So because he looks just like he did in that time, he basically takes over the role of present-day Barry. And he goes to work, with, what was her name? Patty. He goes to he meets up with Wally. He takes Wally on a tour of the place. You know, he's friendly. Remember this? He's from about what 4 years in the future, so he doesn't remember what things were like 4 years ago. So he gives Iris something. He gives her a story, which he shouldn't have. But all these things that he's doing obviously will impact Barry from the present day Barry when he comes back from the Speed Force. And Barry wants to escape the Speed Force, but the problem is he's trapped. And what we see here is what we all knew already, that this Flash knows what's going to happen in the future already, and now he's looking to prevent it by any means necessary, meaning this Flash will kill. So Barry needs to get his ass out of the Speed Force and take future Dark Barry out of the equation.
So don't tell me they're going to make him like a killer now.
No, just the Dark Flash.
Oh, the Dark Flash. Oh, okay, I thought you were talking about this Flash.
I call him the Dark Flash. He's not classified as that. I'm classifying him as that.
Isn't it a Reverse Flash the villain of Dark Flash? I'm confused.
No, this is Barry from the future who traveled back into the present because he wanted to fix the Speed Force. Right. He did. Wally fixed the Speed Force with Barry from the present, but Barry from the present got sucked into the Speed Force.
And that made it
so now he has to get out of the Speed Force, and the Dark Barry is stuck in the present because his future never happened now.
I got it. All right, that makes sense now. Because I'm like thinking it was all.
When it comes to the Flash, it's always a headache, and it always somehow involves time.
It's not worse as a god headache, at least. Just let's put it that way. Okay, last one for me this week, Justice League Dark issue number 36, the Lego variant, because we are Lego fans and we like Lego variants, and the next one that Chris is going to review will be that. So they're at the end of the world, and they're trying to figure out how to get out of it. And Swamp Thing really gets it bad with, you know, all these things that are going on, these little bugs that come in, and lo and behold, Felix Faust makes a return. And gee, it's been since what? The Project Termination, which happened way back in the Justice League Dark, the Blight, Forever Evil Blight thing that happened. So he tries to destroy them, and you know, he tries to come to his senses that, you know, he wanted the key to immortality, but he just realized that it's just loneliness and terrible with all this that's been happening. There's a lot more. You have to read the book to find out. But there's more than one of him, of Felix Faust, and it is his father who actually comes in and tries to defeat them, but Felix Faust, who I guess turned into the good side, fights against them so that way the Justice League Dark team will get out. See, Nightmare Nurse, why couldn't she do this? Make a boat to get out of there in the first place. Why couldn't she do that before?
I don't know. Maybe so that they can have a story.
But she was like saying, you know, to be honest, I don't know how long I can maintain this. I put the book down and said, you could have done this, but anyway, they go along in the distance, so now we're going to see the next story of now, instead of Frankenstein, Nightmare Nurse, and Swamp Thing, next we're going to see, and Andrew Bennett, we're going to see now Madame Xanadu,
Dead Man,
and Black Orchid. I just had to figure it out for the next story. So, it's average, but it's a good average. But if they're going to do all these split things and not be a team, it might. I'm not saying it is. It might go to the drop pile. I'm liking it so far, though, but they just got to get together again. That's it.
Superman issue 36. This issue was very straightforward. You know, I feel like really we didn't progress too much. At the end of the last issue, Ulysses offers the people of Earth a chance to... He doesn't believe Earth has a chance anymore, so he offers the people of Earth the chance to go back with him to the fourth dimension, because he doesn't want to stay on Earth, and he sees no hope in Earth. This issue just expands on that. The ships from the fourth dimension land, and he makes offer to people, but only, how many people can come? Out of the millions, only 6 million will be allowed passage into the fourth dimension. And Superman is looking to stop Ulysses. He's like, you're doing this wrong, you know, Earth has hope, and Ulysses doesn't want to listen. He believes there's no hope for Earth, and that's that. And he's like, I don't have a place here anymore. You have Lois and Jimmy still chasing the story. You can see that things are not right from the fourth dimension from certain interactions with the people from the fourth dimension, or the aliens from the fourth dimension. Also, Ulysses has a little bit of dialogue that we can't read because we're not from the fourth dimension with Cleric. And Ulysses actually goes to the parents and says, "You can't come because people in the fourth dimension who are my enemies think you're dead, and you're safest here." And he even believes Superman's safest there, and Superman wants to stop him. Which then leads into a fight, which then leads into a truth being revealed in the last page. Something's got to pay.
Oh.
There's always a price for a perfect world, and Ulysses says what that price is on the last page. That's the best part of this entire book, because now it's starting to... Now I'm starting to see Ulysses might not be who we thought he was when this series started. Again, this was an okay issue this week. Not the best that we've seen in this story arc so far, but still pretty good. Something that is going very well, though, is Deathstroke. Deathstroke issue number 2. Deathstroke is not having a flashback. He is now younger and two-eyed again. And this guy, the Red Fury, wants to hire him to take out the... Oh, God, why is that name always leaving me? But it's right in the beginning. It's right here. Odysseus.
Odysseus?
Yeah.
Odysseus, huh?
But, of course, before he does that, he has to prove his skill by fighting a humongous amount of one-eyed henchmen. Ha ha, joke, pun intended. But it turns out that Deathstroke, there's something in Deathstroke's mind that he voluntarily was willing to forget. And Red Fury gives him this truth serum. He's like, you take this and you're going to remember the week that you forgot. And he doesn't believe him at first, but by the end of the book, he actually does take it. And the reveal at the end was the best, and I'm going to spoil it because it's already, been a week. It turns out that the week he forgot about involves his son Jericho, and this is Jericho's first appearance in the New 52. So definitely really interesting stuff. If I wasn't grabbed by the action and the dialogue, the inner dialogue in this book, that last page definitely just hooked me in for the next issue. Really good issue, though. Tony S. Daniels' artwork is awesome. The writing in this book is awesome. Deathstroke is definitely a lot better than his previous volume. Volume 1 was definitely not... The New 52 Volume 1 was not as good as this volume. This volume is 10 times better. So don't let that volume make you afraid to try this volume out. This volume is very good. I'm enjoying this story so far. And now we go into the weeklies. And let's begin. World's End issue number 8. Jimmy now has godlike powers, and he's able to...
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
He's able to reverse the effects from famine.
How's that going?
Pretty well, actually.
Really?
Apocalypse is now in the orbit of Earth. Earth armies basically screwed. Now all that's left is basically survival. I love how Wildcat's in here, even though he's not called Wildcat yet. Something happens to Barbara, but guess what? We're not going to find out till next week or today in Earth 2 issue number 29. So Earth 2 obviously is still tying into the stuff that's going on in World's End. However, it's just a tie-in, so the impact of Earth 2 definitely is hindered a bit because of what's going on in the weekly series. John Constantine's putting a team together, but you have to find that out in Constantine starting issue 19, which Michael's not going to do. You got the Furies of Apocalypse that attack the White, which basically is Alan's boyfriend, and Alan Scott is up in space protecting the world from meteors that are crashing down from Apocalypse, and all hell breaks loose. And we do get to see a little bit more of Batman, Superman, Red Tornado and stuff in the fire pits, but I'm not going to spoil that. Flash is still looking for his mom, finds his mom, but now something happens to Hawkgirl by the end of this issue. Good issue, very decent this week. I enjoyed it. Really, that's all I can say. It's a weekly series. At this point, the weekly series, I'm just taking them for what they're worth. Batman Eternal issue 34. I feel like Arkham Manor kind of spoiled it a bit, but in this issue, basically, Batman's been the person that's been attacked all throughout Batman Eternal. Well, the tides turn in this issue, and Jason Bard, Commissioner Bard, now is attacking Bruce Wayne himself because it's now been revealed that Wayne Enterprise has been working with Batman and were in cahoots with Batman, creating these 15 secret bunkers. So basically, by the end of this issue, Wayne Enterprises is seized by the government. So Bruce Wayne basically has lost everything because of what was discovered. But we do get to see a really awesome fight between Hush and Batman in this issue. What's his name's daughter? Alfred's daughter barely escapes Hush. The fight between Batman and Hush was awesome, and even though Batman beats Hush, you're like, oh right, it's finally over. But wait, this is only issue 34 or 52. Well, it's not. It turns out Hush was just another pawn. Somebody else, bigger, is pulling the strings, and he leaves Batman a little note saying Jim Gordon falls in 2 weeks, but he's still invited to partake in the devastation of Gotham City.
Huh.
So who is the mastermind behind everything going on to Batman? I guess all will be revealed by issue number 50.
Watch it be the Joker or something.
I hope it's not, because that'll ruin the impact of who it is. Because we've
Scarecrow maybe, because Scarecrow does.
No, I don't think it will be Scarecrow.
Well, I'm guessing.
Futures End issue 30 again only focused on one story, and that is Green Arrow going to Cadmus Island to destroy it. And that's exactly, the issue says it all. Green Arrow attacks Cadmus Island, saves as many of the new 52 superheroes as possible, and destroys Cadmus Island once and for all. We get a few deaths in this book. Spoiler alert here, one is Deathstroke, or who we believe is Deathstroke. Wow. We get to see a construction, a constructor bot basically, because all the Omax basically combine up and make one gigantic Omax, so that kind of brought me back to like Devastator for Transformers.
Yeah, that does.
Big Barda makes a sacrifice in this book. She's one of the sacrifices left behind. Something's going on with Power Girl because she's some type of a robot now. I couldn't understand that part. The dialogue between Lois from the DC universe and the Earth 2 universe, really good dialogue there. And like I said, it just ends with Cadmus Island being destroyed, but we still have Lois from Earth 2 floating around in the ocean, so she's still alive. However, Brother Eye is still out there also. Just because Cadmus Island is destroyed doesn't mean he's not still connected somewhere. Good issue. I enjoyed this issue a lot. Out of the 3 weeklies, I think I'm enjoying right now Futures End because now it's taking all the little stories or all the multiple stories it was telling, and they're cleaning them up one by one. I guess they're setting up for the next set of stories, or now they're kind of working their way into the whole collision with World's End, which will be happening. No, World's End, I'm sorry, happened already, so it's gearing up towards Convergence in April, I guess. I don't know. Yes, before we go into Marvel, let me check the time. We have time. Okay. We only have 4 Marvel books this week. That's why Marvel's on the top of the pile. Nova issue 24. Nova has been beaten to a bloody pulp. He's in a hospital in Paris. His helmet is basically destroyed, but he still puts it on anyway and tries to get back to his hometown to stop the Hulk. And his helmet really is malfunctioning badly to the point where you don't think he's going to make it, but he does. Spider-Man makes an appearance in this book a bit, but Nova, I like the artwork, by the way, in this book. Really good artwork. But this time, Nova doesn't fight the Hulk. This time, he just takes him and tosses him into space, which I think that was something he should have done the first time around. Would have prevented a little bit of brain damage. Chris, what do you mean brain damage? Well, not only does Sam Alexander reveal his identity to Carnage, thinking Carnage is a good guy, when we all know with Axis going on, Carnage isn't really a good guy, he's just screwed in the head. And this is going to lead into a future story arc where Carnage decides he's going to pay a visit to Sam Alexander. He was so smart revealing himself to Carnage. What I want to know is how the hell does Sam Alexander not know who Carnage is? Of all the supervillains in the world, you think the world knows who Carnage is?
Maybe he's lived under a rock.
He must have, because that's crazy retarded that he didn't know.
Messing with his mind too.
No, it's not messing with his mind.
Well, I don't know that.
But by the end of the issue, we have Carnage saying, gee, I should pay Samuel Alexander a little visit. And you have Sam basically suffering from short-term memory loss, possibly, or brain damage from the fight that he had with Hulk. So, things don't look so good for young Sam in Nova. And from what the last two inner dialogue word bubbles say, you can't hide memory problems, especially when you're the last to know. I didn't know it, but today was my last day as Nova for a really long time. That definitely is very bad foreshadowing, because I'm worried about where this story or where this book is going to be going. Next, we have Superior Iron Man issue number 2. Matt Murdock's seen enough. He goes and confronts Tony Stark about Extremis and how dangerous it is, and that he has to stop it, and Tony Stark basically throws him off the building, which I thought was kind of hilarious. Then Tony Stark decides to do a drive, where basically if you come within 50 feet of him, you get Extremis free for an entire day. So Tony isn't completely evil, he's just egotistic. He's just got a humongous ego now. He's only out for himself.
His ego always gets him.
No, well, he's still screwed because of what happened in Axis.
Ways, yeah.
But he's still got his moments of where he's trying to be good. So it's kind of like the 80s Iron Man, except worse. Go with that. So anyway, Daredevil finds a way to sneak Tony Stark, or drag Tony Stark somewhere secure so he can stop Tony Stark from doing Extremis 3.0 and everything, but unfortunately, remember, his suit is symbiotic and he's connected to it. So basically, it is him. And by the end of the issue, we kind of get to see, we saw it, you could tell by the cover, and I believe it was mentioned in the previews, Iron Man gives Matt Murdock his sight back, but at what price? We'll find out in the next issue at what price. But basically, Iron Man says he told Matt that he had a gift for him, and his gift was giving Matt back his sight. However, I don't know how that's going to be received, and at the same time, I don't know. This is a really good book, though. Tom Taylor writes an awesome Dark Iron Man, I will say that. And I, again, cannot wait when Tony Stark snaps. I put Stark and snaps together. Right. When he snaps out of it, I can't wait to see how he deals with the ramifications of all the stuff he's done up until whatever point he snaps out of it. And we also, I'm still wondering who Pepper was talking to. It could have been, maybe it was Jim Rhodes in the Iron Man costume. We don't know yet who was in that Iron Man armor. Anyway, give us just 2 seconds and we'll be back with the last 2 books from this week's comic book review. Okay, we're back and we've got 2 books left and both are connected to Spider-Verse. First, Scarlet Spiders issue number 1. I love the artwork in this book. I really did.
Can I just ask you a question? Are they making Scarlet Spider-Man whiny again?
No.
Like Scarlet Spider-Man?
No, not at all. This is being written very well. So, the Scarlet Spiders are drawn to a specific Earth. I don't know if they say it at the beginning of the book. I forgot to check before the review. So I'm going to check now. No. They don't specify it, of course. Why would they do that? That would be great. So Gen X, which is one of the inheritors, basically he's cloning a bunch of people, and being that these are the clones of Spider-Man, they're looking to stop Gen X from doing all the dark cloning that he's doing. And they're searching all over the place for him. There's tons of action in this book. The internal dialogue from Jessica Drew is awesome. It's very wordy, though, very wordy, but the world is definitely perverted around Gen X, because the world basically thinks Gen X is God. So the spiders, the Scarlet Spiders, basically come up with a plan. Here's some artwork, by the way. I really liked it. To get into Gen X's, well, Gen X basically is based in the Baxter building, so they find a way in, to sneak in. However, the ending has that world's Johnny Storm at the end of it. He's like, I know who that is, that's Peter Parker. And it kind of ends on that note. I left out a ton of dialogue because this was really good, and the search for Gen X basically begins in this issue, and Kane's dialogue and personality is amazing. It's great reading a Ben Reilly story again. It's nice to have Ben Reilly, even though it's not the Ben Reilly from the 616. That Ben Reilly is dead and gone forever. It's still nice to see this Ben Reilly. And like we got Spider-Gwen, I hope somehow, some way we get Ben Reilly, like a Scarlet Spider series based on this Ben Reilly. That would be awesome. I would really, really enjoy reading that. Definitely, I enjoyed this tie-in. And lastly this week, we have Peter David's Spider-Man 2099, issue number 6. And Marvel, please, I can't stress this enough. Your covers are the first thing I stress. The second thing I stress is, please proofread your letterer's work. Because at the beginning of the issue, now we all know Miguel is in the future, back where he belongs in 2099. But so is Six-Armed Spider-Man and Spider Lady, so to speak. Or Lady Spider. I keep forgetting because I know that Miguel introduces her one way and she corrects him. But I love how Mr. Stone is happy that he finally banished Spider-Man in the year 2014, and it turns out it's only been a couple of hours and now he's back in 2099. Oh, I showed that artwork. And he's freaking out. He wants everybody and their mother on Spider-Man to take him down once and for all. Yeah, Miguel goes to see his brother. He explains the situation. Now, the dialogue bubble that's screwed up is this one, in this word square right here, where it should have been Miguel's brother saying, and he's chasing you guys, and Miguel says he might very well be, but then the next word bubble, which is attached to Miguel, which should have been attached to his brother, is, and you thought the best way to deal with him was to lead him here? That would belong with the brother, because then Miguel answers, don't worry, we're not leading him here. See the mistake?
Oh, I see. Wow.
So, Marvel, please. I mean, this isn't the first time I've seen this. I've seen a lot of lettering mistakes in your books, and if you guys would love, you are welcome to leave in the comments below any lettering mistakes or little wording mistakes. I've seen doubled words. I've seen wrong word bubbles in the wrong place, and it's been going on for quite some time now. I think Marvel really needs to step up their game with their lettering. So anyway, the Inheritor shows up. I forgot this guy's name.
Oh, the
Dave. Oh, what was it?
Deimos.
No, you'll never find Deimos. But anyway, one of the spiders ends up dying, and obviously it's not Spider-Man 2099. But Miguel goes after the Inheritor. That kind of tells you, but Lady Spider goes after him. He strikes a deal with Stone. Basically says, listen, I should be pissed off that you trapped me in 2014, but I'm not. You do me this favor and I'll actually owe you one. And basically he takes the Inheritor to the Alchemax building where he's thrown into stasis. So now Miguel owes Stone one favor, and basically all is clear with him being trapped in 2014. So basically Miguel's staying in 2099, for those of you that didn't know that already. I love Peter David's writing this book. I'm leaving out the dialogue in this book on purpose because you guys should read it. The artwork is really good. Once again, I love the artwork in this book, and this book definitely was really, for a book connected to Spider-Verse, this definitely delivered very well in this issue, I thought. And I can't wait for the next issue, and I can't wait till we get out of Spider-Verse and then we can focus more on Miguel back in 2099. I'm really going to enjoy that even more. So, as always, it's a really great book. I would definitely recommend Spider-Verse. Right now, it's very convoluted, very filled with tons of spiders, or tons of Spider-Men, I should say, and women and clones. But in the end, this story is going to be epic. I have faith in everything that's going on with Spider-Verse. I'm pumped and I'm excited for it. I'm loving every issue that's come out thus far. With the exception of Spider-Woman basically being a babysitter, but maybe it'll pick up in the next issue. Anyway, that's it for this review, guys. As always, feel free to leave in the comments below your thoughts on any of the books here. Recommendations. If you agree or disagree with us, we welcome them, and we will answer your guys' comments in the comments below. Time provided, because I know there were a few comments I still have to get back to them, and I will get back to those comments on previous reviews, don't worry. As always, don't forget to check out Comic Related, Comic Frontline, Zone 4 Podcast, and Frontline Gaming Zone. Together we're your #1 source for comic-related news, reviews, and a whole bunch more. Don't forget to also check out Brooklyn Boys 13. We are doing the 25 Days of Game Miss right now at this very moment. It's going on. We are on day 4 right now. No, today's the 3rd. We're on the 3rd day right now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The 4th will be up by the time this video goes live. But we're having a lot of fun doing this series, and can't wait for the big grand finale, and lots of great games come there.
Yep.
So until next time, everybody, take care, keep reading, keep collecting, and we'll see you guys really soon. Literally, we're already halfway through this week, so the indie review is like, what, 2 days away, 3 days away?
Right.
So we'll see you guys really soon in the next review.
Later, everybody.